Welcome to Balancing Act, where we would hope that you would learn to master the art of living in harmony with life, time, and money. My name is Sam McKeown, and my co-host is.
I'm Linda Wilson, and we're here to help you balance and live in harmony with your lifetime and money.
We're glad you
That's our
decided to
focus
join
today.
us today and listen to what we have today. Linda and I both are professionals in several different areas: finance, mindset, DISC, and sales. Linda, what is your primary focus?
My main focus is on kind of on the soft skills with emotional intelligence, emotional support, influence, and desk.
Okay, that's awesome. I am also with DISC and sales and some mindset stuff. I really love working with people when it comes to mindset. But here's some of the core topics that we have in our show, Balancing Act. We'll start with personal finance. Our first topic here with personal finance is we want to make money work for you. We don't want you chasing after it. We want you to understand how you can make your money work for you and how you can keep more of it.
Most definitely. And another one of our topics will be leadership with helping you lead with confidence and integrity. And the two of those need to go together in order to have a work culture, a business culture that flows very well. And you want to have that harmony in your organization as well as at your home.
Yes, that's very, very key, Linda. You mentioned one big word there, and that's integrity. And everything we do here, we want to be living in integrity. Our next topic would be sales. We want to help you build relationships that last using principles of ethical influence, solid core sales presentations, teaching you how to move forward in a sales presentation, and helping you when you get stuck, because we've both been stuck from time to time. Isn't that true?
Oh, for sure. And everybody does at some point, and usually more than once. As you grow, you're gonna hit those stuck points.
Yep.
Um, and one of the big areas that we both like to work in is DISC and understanding and using the DISC personality assessment. And I like to combine that with the emotional intelligence. The two go hand in hand in making sure that you are honoring another person's point of view, understanding how they think, how they process, so that the communication that you have with them and with the others on your team, it's more effective if you have an understanding of where they might be coming from and how they work, what makes them tick.
The more I get into that DISC, the more I wish I'd have gotten into it earlier. And we have trained under the master, you and and I understand how important it is and how important it is in almost every process in business, even more so in the last year or so. Sometimes you can teach an old dog new tricks.
And and it's important to understand that DISC is not and emotional intelligence, they're not tools that label you. They just help
Right.
you become more. It's not a label you put on someone. It's an awareness of how you think and react, how they think and react, and how you can combine those to have a harmonious work relationship or a harmonious home relationship to get the best out of each other.
That is so true, Linda, that getting the best out of each other, whether it's a work environment, home environment, whatever the environment, could be in a church setting, it could be in a social setting, in a club, in a networking group, but trying to get that harmonious relationship going forward. Work situations, I think that's probably where both of us excel when we go into a company and work with them on DISC and show them how their interactions are influencing each other. And we strive to do everything with integrity in everything that we do and say. And our entire business model, both of us have integrity as one of our uh, core values. So, but the heart and soul of Balancing Act, we've got four different things that we really want to hit a topic on. The first two are finding the perfect rhythm in life and thriving in your career.
Right. And nurturing your family and discovering your life's purpose. And the four of these they're not individual. I mean, they each have their individual aspects to them, but they work together. And I think that's where you and I really stand out, is how we've learned to make them work in our lives, and then just working together, you and I. Um, we're in different parts of the country. We have different backgrounds. We have different, we even have different political ideologies, but we don't let that interfere with doing the good work that we do. And I think that is a really key component of, especially in today's environment, we need to learn to put some of the differences aside and focus on the things that we can do together to make things better.
You're right. And it is interesting that we can come together with our different backgrounds. However, where you're at in the country, I came from that neck of the woods here a few years ago to Florida, and I don't envy you with the cold. People in Florida are freezing today, Linda. It's 63 degrees, but I'm loving life. But you are correct. Finding that perfect rhythm, thriving in whatever you do, nurturing your family, discovering your purpose. So many people don't know. They don't start living. You won't start living until you discover what your purpose is. You have a day that you were born and the day that you started to live. And the day you started to live was the day you found your purpose. And sometimes you get to be a little bit older before that happens. But
And
uh,
and your purpose can change in life, and that's
absolutely.
okay. Your purpose when you're younger is going to be could look very different than your purpose as you get older. As your family grows and mature, as you grow and mature, I know my purpose over my lifetime has changed at least 3 times.
Yeah. I
And and there was nothing wrong with the purposes I had before. It was just change happens,
change
and
happens.
I've learned to be very open to the change and learn how to make the most of that.
It's
And
inevitable.
that,
Change is
yeah,
inevitable, and you're right. We have to make the most of it. I can go look back over my career and the various things that I've done over the years and enjoyed doing, and how that has changed. And we have to be ready to accept it and be ready to move on to the next step. So, Linda, we've mentioned a little bit. We've touched on, we do have some experience, and our combined business experience is over 70 years of combined business experience in various areas and professions. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but you have an expertise in IT. Is that correct?
um, I have a I have expertise in IT and training, in photography. I was self-taught on software. I mean, just about every program I've ever taught, I learned on my own and then turned around and taught other people how to use it. And I've done that in the business environment as well as in my own business. But yeah, I've had a lot of different backgrounds. I started doing IT work when they were the CRT, the terminals.
You're
I'm
dating
dating
yourself.
myself. Yes, I am. But when we went from that to using the word processors, we were quite with it. I was working for the state of Wyoming back then.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The first computer I bought was an Apple III, and most people out there who maybe listen to this have no clue what that was, but it was Apple's first business computer. And
Mhm.
it was very powerful at the time, but there was only like one program written for it, and that was called Three Easy Pieces. So we've been around a while when it comes to the IT and having to learn. But you also have experience in executive management, also, and several different industries you've worked in. Correct?
Correct. And the thing that covers like all the different industries that I've worked in is number one, change is inevitable, and showing people how to get comfortable, or if at least not get comfortable, adapt to the changes that are
Yes.
coming, is something that I've done in every position I've ever had, whether it was working for government, whether it was working for nonprofit, whether it was working for myself. Um, it's the thing is things change whether we want them to or not, and whether we agree to or not.
Right.
And the best way to adapt to that is learn how to make those changes work for you and not fight against them. And I've got a good 30 years experience doing that. Now, Sam, I know that your experience, one of your more foundational backgrounds is in finances, which is an area that I always look for assistance in. How long have you been doing that? And tell us about that a little
I've
bit.
been coaching one-on-one in personal finance for about 15 years, maybe a little bit longer, because I did some counseling from the pastoral side. So, but yeah, I've been working on that for quite a while. It's kind of a passion of mine. It's unfortunate that by the time people come to me, um, they're broke. And so, but I'll tell you what the pleasure of it is. Anybody who's listening who is in that struggle and they're struggling right now with finances, we can work you through it and we can show you how to get on the paths to financial independence, financial freedom. If you're very smart with your money, most people don't know where all their money goes, and that's the biggest thing that people have to learn is where's my money going, and then they have to be able to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I spend too much money. Most people don't have a problem with income. It's usually they have a problem with spending. I spent a lot of my time in restaurant management. Also, I worked for some very large companies and have worked through the personnel process of it. Worked through HR. I've done several startups,
Mhm.
so I'm very well versed in hiring and firing of employees, the proper use of human resources techniques and stuff like that. For the most part, if you look back at it, things haven't changed. Yes, there's more difficulties and there's things that are challenges that are facing people today. But when it comes to business, it boils down to what we talked about early: integrity.
Right.
If you have integrity in your hiring process, you have integrity in the way you treat your people, you treat your people fairly, then you're never going to be in trouble. And
And
that's
it's
one thing that I pride myself on with my experience is how I was able to maintain integrity in all of the areas especially working in the restaurant industry. So that was a very rewarding experience the years that I did that.
and I would say with you helping, with the finances over the last 15 plus years, you've kind of seen all the ups and downs, and
Right.
you've seen the recession, you've seen how things have changed, and everything is cyclical.
It is.
And that's one of the things that's important for people to understand is that it will swing back. What you
Yes.
need to be able to do is hang in there while it's swinging the wrong way
Right.
and
Right. Right. Right.
have your feet underneath you so that you can survive that part of it. Um, it's just, and one of the things I want to let people know is we're using terms like financial freedom and those kind of terms. But just so you know, we are not selling a business.
Right.
This isn't this isn't anything other than helping you find the footing that you need, get the groundwork underneath you. We're not doing any of those, and there's nothing wrong with those businesses. There's nothing wrong with having that business, and if you're in that business and you are needing some help with how that works, both Sam and I have that background as well. It's just I want you to know that this is not what this program is.
Right.
This
Exactly.
this
Exactly.
program is sharing information that is across the board for everybody.
Right.
It's not industry specific. It's not
Yes.
business
Exactly.
specific.
And finance is not industry specific. The other thing that's not
Right.
industry specific is sales.
Right.
And eh, I had a sales manager tell me one time, if you don't like what you're selling, go out and find a product that's more expensive and sell a lot of them. So I had a owner once who used to sell donuts, 25 cents a donut. You can't make a good living. So he
Nope.
made the change and he got into a more lucrative restaurant businesses and things like that. But he still had to sell. We
Right.
have to we have to sell every day. You have to sell every day. I have to sell every day. And the world stops if sales stop.
That's right. And if you think about it, there are so many things you sell that does not include money.
Yes.
You're selling ideas, you're selling point of view, you're selling you're everything is sales.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, think about it. If you've got kids or grandkids running around your house and you just want them to be quiet for a little while,
That
that's a sales job, right?
is a sales job. That is a
Get
sales job. We have a new
getting your dog
puppy.
or cat to go to the vet, that's a sales
It is a
job.
sales job. Our new puppy, the sales job on her right now is a little tiny treat that she can still chew, right? So,
Right?
but well, I want to, Linda, talk for a few minutes about what folks can expect from the balancing act, and some of the things that we want to pride ourselves on. We want to have insightful conversations, you and I, and when we bring guests on, that we would have with very insightful and a learning experience for everybody. Correct?
Definitely, definitely. We, you
So
know, we don't want to be saying the same things over and over. And again, even if it's something you think you might have heard, you may hear it differently this time because we don't always hear what we need to hear until we actually need to hear it.
exactly. It's the same way when you're listening to a book or reading a book, and you say, "Well, I've read this." Think and Grow Rich is a book that we've both read over and over again, and you think you know it. Well, you don't really know it till you start teaching it. As a Man Thinketh, we teach a lot of As a Man Thinketh, and we both of us really enjoy that book. But I get something more out of it every time we do it, again and again. So um, always, somebody says, well, I'm going to talk about As a Man Thinketh. Oh, I've already read that book. It's a real short book. I know it all. Well, as soon as you say you know it all, it's probably time to step back and look again. We also want to be able to tell you some inspiring stories, some funny stories.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Linda and I have a vast array of stories, and you're going to be stuck with them, right? Um,
That's right. But I tell you what, and then as we get going, if you guys have stories you want to share with us, let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love to hear stories. I learn from every story I hear.
Right. Right. Me too. I've had folks tell me stories, especially, when you start talking with finances and in sales, true, too. I guess those are the
Hmm.
two really big categories. But when they start talking about, this happened and that happened, and you sit back and you say, okay, and then you want to know what they learned from it. And so many times they hadn't even thought about that. If it was something bad happened, they didn't even think about what did they learn from that. And so hopefully we can help you in those areas too.
Because everything's a learning experience. We also are going to be able to give you actionable tips from experts in various fields, including ourselves. Um, we've got solid lessons and action steps for you to take as we go through the different things. And there's plenty of information to help you live in harmony with life's challenges. Life doesn't have to be a fight. There's going to be
No,
times where things don't work out the way you expect them to, but it doesn't have to be a struggle. There's ways to mitigate that.
there is. And we would hope that we can bring you some insightful messages and stories and tales and tips to live in harmony with your time, your money, and your life. And so we hope you would join us in this journey to transform your life, one episode at a time, one story at a time. So we would encourage you to reach out if you have questions. Reach out if you have comments. We'll take comments, good and bad. We know we're not perfect, and
That's
hit the
right.
subscribe and embark with us. Join us on this journey.
Definitely. Life is a journey and you should enjoy it along the way. And we can help make that a little bit easier for you.
We want to thank you for listening today, and we hope that you would continue to listen to us to be able to master the art of living in harmony with life, time, and money. Linda, see you next time.
You bet. See you next time, everyone.